Morning, Lenny.
Good morning. Oh, I wish it was.
Lenny, what's happened?
Did you see the numbers? We lost 6% in sales in the catering division. I mean, our estimates were a 2% rise.
No, I did not hear this yet. It's awful. Oh, Bill is not going to be happy. He has his meeting, his quarterly presentation tomorrow afternoon to the analysts. Do we know how this happened?
Not yet. What I want you to do is organize a meeting for us at 10 a.m. today. I want you, me, and Oscar there and tell him he can bring anyone he wants. I gotta get some answers before Bill gets this information. We gotta be proactive. In fact, I want you to clear 2 hours of everyone's schedule, just in case.
Okay, I'll pull it together. Executive conference room, okay?
Yeah, thanks. I'll see you there. I am not happy, and Bill is going to be furious. Okay? Who can tell me what the heck happened?
Lenny, I'm sorry, but we just don't know yet.
How come we didn't know about this weeks ago? I mean, didn't any of you know that the sales were off?
We had some, but thought we could pull it through with a big order we're working on. I'm sorry to say, it just didn't come through.
Lenny, Oscar, we have to get a better understanding of these things. We had no advanced warning to reset expectations. This is going to hit our stock hard.
This is unacceptable. Why didn't you tell me about that deal that didn't happen?
Phyllis is better prepared to talk about that.
Thanks, Oscar, and Mr. Crape for having me here. We had a big deal working that we thought we had locked up. They'd been a customer for a long time, so it was a surprise. The customer is Subterranean Cruise Line. They specialize in scuba trips. They're a mid-sized cruise line that offers special trips to the Great Barrier Reef, the Catalina Islands off Los Angeles, off the Mexican coast near Cancun, and out of Miami to the Bahamas and the Florida Keys. They've been using our catering services for the last 3 years. We've had a great relationship, and together we've been growing rapidly. We thought it was a done deal. What we're hearing is that Luby's Catering introduced a new mobile solution that the customer loves and is going to save them a bunch of money. We're looking into it now.
Well, we've really got to get better at customer-facing technology and a better understanding. Marilyn, we'll discuss this later. So, what are we going to tell Bill?
Well, thank you for all being here. Our agenda for today is to define and agree on our quarterly strategy for technology, what we can afford within our budget, and what will make us more responsive to the users. Jack also wanted to share some of the business drivers that he is hearing about.
Yes, thank you, Harold. Well, it has been a very productive quarter, but we have some issues as well. From a business point of view, this last quarter we finally made the cutover to the new SAP supply chain platform. It has already shown to be more efficient, and the users seem to be adapting to it well. Support calls have gone down over the last few weeks. We have also negotiated a new contract with Microsoft that includes a series of new services. One of the stipulations was that we migrate the remaining Windows XP platforms to at least Windows 7. Harold, this is something that you'll have to update me on.
A sure thing, Jack.
We're also licensing their mobile management and security products. This should help us gain better control of the iPads and Android devices throughout the company, and maybe add some Windows tablets to the mix.
Thanks, Jack. Thank you all for sending in your requirements. After reading them, these are the things I believe are the most important. We have about 200 x86 servers that are almost at end of life. We need to decide which vendor we are going to replace them with and get the order in. Demand for resources is growing. Of course, we need to determine what the impact on our VMware licenses will be. The new virtual PC initiative sounds like it aligns well with the Microsoft license that Jack just described. So I need an update on how that is going. We need some additional storage for the new SAP implementation. I know we wanted to do some branch router upgrades, but with budget constraints, that will probably have to wait till next quarter. Sorry, Harry. I think if we focus on these things, we should be able to manage the next quarter quite well.
This sounds solid to me. I have a meeting with Bill later today. We'll update him on our strategy.
Well, let us know if you need any backup documentation.
What is it?
It's a UBA.
UBA?
Universal Business Adapter.
What's it do?
It connects anything to everything.
What's this for?
Your laptop, your mainframe, call center, Unix servers, Linux servers, internet, supply chain, payroll system, HR, email.
Slick.
Is it affordable? Fast?
Easy?
Very.
Does it work in Europe?
You need an adapter.
It's my pleasure. Okay, well, I am responsible for all of the marketing activities of the business, including driving top-line growth and market share, defining and managing the brand, and our value proposition. But I also have to constantly be looking at improving operational efficiencies and advancing our go-to-market processes. As the CMO, I have about 8 groups that report to me. I own product marketing, Marcom, website marketing, social media, lead generation, customer retention, and brand marketing. Plus the divisional marketing teams dot line to me. From a technology point of view, I don't really know. I have people that work for me to do that. But I have to say that it is often challenging working with the IT team. They're great people, but they have so much to do. We just don't get to market fast enough for my taste. So sometimes we just do it ourselves. What is important to me is that I can release new mobile or social solutions quickly, and that I can analyze the customer's habits so that I can tune our brand and beat the competition. If I don't, well, they win. It's my pleasure. I've got to run. I have a conference call starting in 3 minutes. Thanks for having me here. Bye.
Thanks, Bentley. What can I help you with? I will certainly try. Well, Jack, our CIO, probably would have been better choice. So let me tell you what he has to do. Jack oversees the entire IT organization. It is his job, with my support, to make sure that the right technologies are in place and working correctly in order for the business to be successful. Well, this could include changes in the solutions that operate the business. For example, we just implemented a new SAP supply chain application, but it also includes virtualization, consolidation, desktops, networks, and storage. Everything has to work together in harmony. Our priorities are to take an active role in securing the technology that supports the operation of the business. Jack often interacts with the business teams, and I would say that he acts as a strategic leader. He says his job is to deliver business value through technology. Jack has an amazing background and really understands business. He's also in the process of completing his MBA so that he can be more strategic. My role is to support his strategies and execute upon the plan. We just had a strategy meeting this morning. My priority is to have the best technology to allow us to be integrated, agile, and quick to respond. We are looking at both on-premise and cloud solutions. I can't go much deeper as it is proprietary information. I hope this helps. My pleasure. Hi, Betsy. Nice to see you. Hi. Look, I know we said we were going to have lunch, but we're in a bit of a conundrum. Management have just come out of a 2-hour meeting, and they need us in there in about 15 minutes' time. So if you don't mind, or we can reschedule another time.
I'm happy to sit in and provide any assistance we can.
Great. I knew you'd be okay with this. It's been a funny day. It's been a bit of a fire drill and all of that, so let's go.
Sure, let's do it.
Thanks. Betsy, please take a seat. Hey everyone, sorry I'm late. This is Betsy Spring from IBM. She and I had a scheduled meeting at this time, and since she was here, I thought I would invite her and see if there was any wisdom she could share with us. We have Sally and I here from IT. This is Phyllis, the Director of Marketing and Technology Lead for the Catering Division, and she will be briefing our CMO.
Nice to meet you all.
So, let me bring Betsy and my team up to speed. Phyllis just got out of a meeting with management. It seems that our sales were off this past quarter and no one knows why. At least that is what we are told. And this was especially true in the travel space. Marketing thinks it is due to a new mobile application that one of our competitors, Luby's Catering, has introduced. You know, the company that caters the US presidential inauguration, the Olympics, the other big venues. They are huge.
Harold, let me finish this.
Okay, sorry.
Look, we're pretty sure that this is the carrot that Luby's has been using. Okay, it's not the first time. Plus, they're very good at helping the companies predict food consumption based on annual usage with other similar venues. But we are proud to say that we've been keeping pace with them. However, recently they introduced this app for the cruise industry and it's hit us hard. So, this is why we're here. We should not have missed this, and we're gonna pay the price. I need IT to come up with something new and innovative. I've been asked and tasked by Marilyn Quiche, the CMO, Oscar Gritt, the GM of Catering, and Lenny Crape, our COO, with finding a solution. So, guys, I need an answer, and I need it quickly.
Well, Phyllis, what is it you wanted to do?
Harold, what we've seen is that this app allows the end customer to customize meals on ships, at resorts, and at other travel destinations to their liking. Then a custom menu is offered up on their phone or iPad while they're there. This gives them control and a truly unique experience. It appears that Luby's has an exclusive on it. To make it worse for us, somehow Luby's has been able to collect the data and share the statistics with their clients or our clients. The result is that customer satisfaction has gone up, their customers' customers are much happier. It also appears that their purchases are more in line with consumption, leading to a lot less waste and saving the customer upwards of 20%. We couldn't make that kind of commitment, and we have nothing like this. We think this is the primary reason that we've lost business, and as such, the division has dropped by 6% this quarter. I need some ideas quickly.
Well, that is a hard one. We have some working prototypes of mobile applications, but nothing like this. We would have to know a lot more about it before we could even begin to scope it.
Harold, that is just not an acceptable answer.
Phyllis,
I need you to look into this and get me a solution.
I will do my best. This is why I thought IBM might be of help. Do you have any experience with this kind of thing? And if so, what can IBM offer?
Well, the customer has asked you a question, and you can see they're looking for help. From the following 3 options, pick the response that best represents an IBM value statement.
I like what I just heard. I think you grasped this issue well, and I would very much like to hear about what others have done, especially in the financial space. I wouldn't have thought of that, but you're right. They are good at capturing new business. We need this kind of broad thinking, and please do provide us some information on analytics. Our CMO is asking about this every day. We have some processes in place, but this is an area that needs to be looked at, not just for this project, but across the board. Harold, please make sure they get what they need, and get back to me immediately when you hear back. And if you need to reach out to me, feel free, call me.
I'm sure they will, Phyllis. Thank you. I hope you can get some good information for us.
Well done. You made IBM look pretty good in there. You made the right choice by not bringing up your product. This was not the right time. But I can promise you that if you do the research, I'm sure that you will find solutions that can help her. You'll become her new trusted advisor, and that will win you the infrastructure for the project and beyond. So, very good. You made the best choice. You listened to the customer, digested the need, and provided back a solid value positioning statement for our strategy. Well done. Now you can move on to other modules whenever you like.
Thanks. I think that is a good idea. I would like to hear what your other customers have done.
I agree. I'd like to hear what the financial customers have done. They do have a similar problem and are very good at getting new customers and building loyalty. I'm game for that. Can you get back to Harold and let him know what you find out? As far as the foundation stuff, that's not my area, so I'll leave that to you, Harold.
Will do, Phyllis. Thanks for joining us.
You did well, and you were successful. But you know, your answer was only partially correct. Looking inside IBM was the right thing to do. Bringing up your product this early in the process, it just turned off Phyllis, who might have become your next hero inside the organization. Although Harold didn't seem to mind hearing about it. There was a better choice. However, your answer was good enough to complete this module successfully. You can move on to other modules whenever you like.
Harold?
I'm sorry, Phyllis. Let me take this and I will get you some fast answers. Give me a few hours and I think I know who I can call. Sorry, Betsy. Thanks for your help today. Let's reschedule lunch for another time.
You really missed some key points that we're making and how you must expand your conversation beyond just the IT team. We recognize your issue with time, but unfortunately, we just can't keep selling the same old way anymore. Our competition is calling into the business, and it's not just our traditional competition anymore. You have to deal with startups as well as the over-the-top cloud providers such as Amazon, Google, and even the telephone companies. We recommend that you review this module again, although it is up to you. The objective of this program is to best prepare you for how to successfully present and sell the solutions beyond our traditional IT customer.
Yes, Lenny, I know. Believe me, we heard about it over the last 2 days. I know we are... You can't put all the blame on us. Okay, I'll have my team on it right away.
What's going on?
Lenny is being pressured by Bill. Not a surprise, though. Did you see what happened to the stock overnight? When Bill announced the numbers yesterday, it was ugly. He is already dealing with upset stockholders, so he's pressuring Lenny, and Lenny is on both me and Marilyn to fix it.
There is not much we could have done about it. We didn't even know there was a problem until Tuesday afternoon.
That doesn't really matter. It's in the past. We're being told to be more aware, which means we have to coordinate with Marilyn's team better. We've got to get this situation under control. To me, that means we come up with something to demonstrate our value. I would ask Scott, but he's out on leave. I know he's a genius among us for mobile apps. I'm not sure how long he'll be out.
Scott has to take care of his issues. We can handle this. I can get my team to help. In my opinion, Jack, the deal was not just lost because of a mobile app Luby's released. It had influence. But our marketing and sales teams let the ball drop. They have to understand the customer better. I'm not a sales guy, but I had a little experience when I was in college. What I learned is if you don't understand the needs of the customer, you don't get the deal. I've been thinking about getting some of my vendors in to listen to our needs and make some suggestions. What do you think?
Well, that would be okay if they're more than just hardware license pushers. But my experience has not been that good. You might look into Capgemini or Accenture, as they tend to be more on top of trends than vendors.
I would be happy to, but do we have the budget for that?
No.
Well, let's see what they come up with. Cisco and IBM have both offered to help us out with this and talk about what we're doing and
well, I think that works.
Okay, well, let's go ahead with this and we'll set it out.
Let's get them in.
Okay, good. Welcome. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you reaching out to me as we have been heads down since Tuesday. Thanks for joining us in that meeting, and I'm glad we could reschedule this one. Having you there kept everything professional, and Phyllis was intrigued by your response to her question. I hope you're prepared to back that up. Now let me bring you up to date. The situation from our end is pretty much under control. Jack Pesto, our CIO, and I have a plan, and management is comfortable with it. But I would like to hear more about what you found. Plus, we can explore some of our broader needs with infrastructure. Would this be okay with you?
Absolutely. We're happy to be here.
Well, my job is to make sure that we have the right infrastructure to support the many divisions of the company. Since we are a global company, we have to have services available 24/7 with the support for the branch facilities, wherever they may be. The catering and food distribution business is the largest part of the organization, with the most facilities and infrastructure needs. Although the restaurants are starting to really show some promise. We have a lot of different vendors' solutions, which is both good and bad. We can get the best from each vendor, but then we have the challenge of them all working together. We use SAP for our ERP, Oracle database, and we have a custom catering solution that we wrote 15 years ago that has been doing well. We use Salesforce.com for CRM. We implemented a data warehouse with Teradata and get pretty good results. We also have some data analysis happening on operational data. We have done quite a bit of consolidation over the years, but it seems to always blossom out again, if you know what I mean. Ideally, we want to standardize on one solution, but that may take some doing, if it's even possible. The CIO has been pushing me for ways to improve productivity, provision solutions faster, and of course the usual get costs down. As you saw, we are under constant pressure from the business units to deliver, sometimes on unrealistic requests, which has forced me to look outside for answers. That is why we are having this conversation. There was no specific agenda for today's meeting. With that said, what can you do to support us?
Thank you for the opportunity, Harold. I brought along some examples of solutions that might align with your needs for mobile access. I will leave them with you so that you can share them with Phyllis.
What else can I answer for you? Well, we feel we have a great working relationship. Yes, there are times when the business units are frustrated with us, but what happened Tuesday is kind of unique. We do hear that sometimes they think we are slow to respond, but they don't always understand what it takes to deploy an application or a mobile app with security and make it available to them at all times with good performance. I'm sure you know what I mean. The problem stems from a lack of true communication, but we have a tough job to do. And to be honest, you can't please everyone all the time. Like any large company, it's hard to change that in a company's culture. Plus, many of our business units operate as islands inside the business, and that becomes an issue. Often, it's easier to say something isn't happening rather than coming to us and explaining what is really needed and why. Some of the groups have people that we work with, some don't. With the ones that do, I can work with and prioritize resources better. My biggest issue is that we always hear about what they need after decisions have occurred, and we are on the tail end of trying to respond. So we often don't get the right information at the right time. Hence, we struggle to just keep up with demand rather than having an optimized plan by working more proactively. As to how we are dealing with it, we are trying to coordinate more planning meetings, and Jack Pesto, our CIO, has been taking a more proactive role. Well, that's a broad question. I would say we have a lot of different needs. I don't call them challenges, except for maybe the lack of budget, but that is the norm. So if we are talking about infrastructure needs, I would have to say upgrading our data center technology. We are constantly buying disk, updating software releases, licensing, patching, dealing with BYOD, bring your own device, addressing security, etc. From our users' point of view, the main issue is keeping up with all the trends and making sure they can access the information they need at any time. Everything from inventory lists, customer data, to pricing, buying habits, new marketing tools, and suppliers' interfaces. Then we have a completely different solution for distribution to stores, to restaurants, and supporting the catering side of the business. Some of our customers are actually transporting our goods, and often the goods are perishable. Got to track that. It can be a real challenge. I am sure you've heard this from every IT department. Data and information requirements are growing exponentially, and this data is generating new demands for better intelligence, which translate to new workloads for IT. What else? Well, we have to do threat and security management, not just financial risk, credit, fraud, and shoplifting. All of it needs to be tracked, stored, and coordinated through IT. Business unit demands, especially marketing, are creating more and more pressure to release new applications. Just the other day, marketing came up with this idea to allow customers to use their mobile phones or tablets to pre-order meals at our fresh and healthy cafes, which are in our stores. They want it running by next quarter. So the opportunities, or as you call them, challenges, are many. So we need to approach the problems differently than we have in the past. I'm considering a cloud strategy to help us, but there are security and cost concerns. So we may need to think about providing an internal private cloud. If we had more time and money, we would be more flexible and could deliver more value to the business units. But they just don't get it. Sorry, you hit on a hot spot for me. Cloud might be the answer, but we have a lot of homework to do first. Many of our applications are just not cloud ready. Plus, the public cloud will cause us compliance issues in countries that don't allow data outside their borders. In the meantime, we just keep adding and adding disk. Then, for cloud, who is my partner? IBM? HP? Oracle? Amazon? Google? Even AT&T was in the other day with Cisco. Cloud is a big thing. Right now, we buy some services such as Salesforce.com. We have other solutions as well, especially for web marketing. Regarding mobile, we are in discussions with marketing at the moment, as you and Betsy heard in our previous conversation. Basically, they want the same thing as Luby's has. It enables end customers to customize their meals on chips and at resorts via a menu on their phone or tablet. We don't know if they bought that or built it. Regarding the cloud and our infrastructure needs, how could you help us? What would be your recommendations? Great response. I like this data center agenda. We actually use that term ourselves. You're right too. Economics plays a big part in what we can and cannot do. And if we could get support of the business units, especially in the form of budget, then we could get a lot more done. I would be interested in hearing more about the solutions that you offer. We have been testing some applications in the cloud, but have not made it a top priority yet. Of course, that doesn't count Salesforce.com. We have actually tested some Amazon-hosted servers. They work surprisingly well, especially since we have to distribute resources around the world. I agree with your statement that we need to make marketing a priority. I've been tasked to do just that by Jack, my boss. This is where you could be a big help to us. I need to know everything I can about what other companies are doing with mobile and social, and how they are handling BYOD. I like this conversation. Let's continue. I agree that a little more research on our environment would be good. I'm not sure how we got to talking about a converged solution, but it is not a bad idea. The biggest problem is the costs of doing it. I agree with finding out what the business is looking for, but not first. We have a lot of infrastructure needs that take priority. Of course, those are all in alignment to the business. We have to keep things running. I don't really care how many years of experience you have. Once upon a time, you couldn't get fired for buying IBM. But today, that's no longer the case. The smartest IT manager buy whatever is best for their business. So, do me a favor and stay away from those kinds of statements. As far as an in-depth study, I will need to discuss that with Jack. He was concerned that this meeting might be a waste of time. I'm not as pessimistic. Let's see how things go as we move forward. Anyway, let's continue. Yeah, that's nice. To be honest, I'm a little disappointed in your response. I could have read that on the web. I was hoping that after the other day, you would have something of value to share with me. Jack was right. Oh well, can't say I'm really happy with how things are going, but let's continue. I spend most of my time, unfortunately, putting out fires. It's hard to have a clear view of the situation to architect a better plan. I have immediate needs to upgrade a number of our older x86 servers, and I'm considering my options for which vendor to use. My plan first is to upgrade the x86 technology. I also have to work on the VMware licenses, so it is top priority. We also have been trying to figure out what to do with the Windows XP PC. Right now, we have gone into a contract with Microsoft to continue to support them. Very expensive. We have a virtual PC test going on now. This is taxing our servers, but it looks promising. If we roll that out, we will have to grow the infrastructure to include servers, storage, and an upgrade for our network. Don't know yet if this is going to be funded. I have to build a better mobile strategy. And of course, we need to find unique apps so that we can beat our competition to market. While doing all of this, I somehow need to decrease operating costs and support new cloud computing plans. I have trouble trying to work this out. To answer your question specifically, we are aligned to the operational needs of the business. We try our best to respond to specific new initiatives. How does that align to our budget? Operational first, then new projects. But budget is not the only issue. We also have to have time to build new solutions. Do you have any ideas or suggestions for how you could help? Of course, without costing me. Challenges? Well, I don't know if I would call them challenges. Sometimes our capacity just can't meet the demand. We have a lot of different technology and some of our x86 servers are aged, but we mostly are able to meet demand. You probably heard about the outage the other day, which I'm sure prompted the question. That was unfortunate, and it did come during a peak time. We got overloaded and just couldn't respond fast enough. Our users are so used to getting instant access. It's been addressed. We must keep our operational applications available 24/7. But who doesn't these days? We are also looking at a way to add capacity on demand to handle some of the new business solutions being requested. Where we are concerned is with some of the customer data and analysis that is growing so quickly. If we are successful in giving marketing what they want, we will in turn be taxing the infrastructure. So, we need a way to isolate or manage that more effectively. Ideally, I would like to have a totally integrated approach to the design, development, and testing of each and every server, blade, or compute node to ensure the scalability and resiliency meet the needs of the business. I am sure you asked this question for a reason. What do you have that can help us here? No, I really haven't. We like the System Z and it does run really well, but it is also really expensive as a server. The applications are costly and the cost of the system compared to our x86 service is absurd. To be honest with you, we have been trying to figure out a way to phase it out and move everything to our VMware servers. Capacity is a very large issue for us, but I just don't have a budget to move this to System Z. What can I say? But you've been pretty good at listening and making suggestions. If I were to consider it, what benefit would I gain and how would I be able to afford it? In any storage environment, utilization could be better. Capacity planning is tough and the data is growing exponentially. To tell you the truth, you don't always know what comes next. We plan for the worst and hope for the best. Last week, we got hit with an end of quarter that really surprised us. Performance was abysmal. We pointed to a router failure, but it was a combination of things. Not having the right data store accessible at the right moment, older servers that need upgrading and not enough tier 1 disk to bring everything online in time. So, am I satisfied? Generally, yes, but it could be better. Storage is the biggest piece of my budget, so I would like to see better utilization. As far as flash, we have been looking at some flash technologies. We have a few products in pilot, but nothing on a large scale. The cost is still too high, and we are worried about compatibility. Our storage vendor, EMC, tells us that we should take this slowly, and they're providing us an education. If you have something of interest, I would like to hear about it. What could you offer me that I don't already get from my current vendor? I think that is a fair assessment. And while I don't usually like being compared to other companies, I have to agree that there are similar issues. I like what I hear about your platform and the capabilities. It could be a good solution to our needs. If you think you can accomplish all this within budget together with our new workloads, then I would be foolish not to listen. What else can I answer for you? Well, okay. I thought we would be talking about what you can do to help me with the overall architecture. I like what you said, and it has a lot of great capabilities. But to be honest, so do all the vendors. Now, I know you do this with other customers, but we are unique in our requirements. I do like your enthusiasm, though. Go ahead and get me a proposal. That way I can compare it against the other vendors. Budget is a big concern for us. What other questions do you have? Well, that's nice. I'm glad you have the answer with your product. That was a lot to digest, and I probably could have gotten it out of a brochure. I thought you were better than this, especially after the other day. Guess I assumed wrong. Your answer was a bit arrogant for me, and I really don't appreciate the attitude. You know, I am very busy. Let's just call this meeting to a close. I don't think you really care about our needs. You're just here selling something. I need partners that help me solve our challenges, and you obviously don't get that. That's a big question and can cover a lot of areas. In some areas, yes, and some no. Data is our biggest challenge. We have a ton of it, and it is growing exponentially. Our next challenge is accessing it quickly and efficiently, followed by processing it. Of course, we have to know what data to look at, and that is sometimes a challenge. Our operational data is being analyzed by our Teradata warehouse, but we are getting more and more demand from the business units for access to a broader set of data. They are now on the big data path. How they can better understand our customers' buying habits, but more importantly, how we can understand the customers' buying habits. It is a real challenge for processing, storing, and retrieving data. Another issue is power, cooling, and space. Our data centers are required to support increasingly dense configurations. And I guess our ability to respond rapidly to new requests is a hot button for Jack. He is getting a lot of pressure to be more cloud-like in our infrastructure. I think he has that under control. What do I think we could do better? I think if we could optimize and consolidate some of our platforms we have, servers, storage, and even the network, we would be able to spend less time on the infrastructure and more on these new initiatives. The demands that marketing and the other business units are placing on us often require us to drop our own priorities just to keep up. When I attended the Gartner conference last year, it seemed that a lot of us were dealing with the same issues. And, to our surprise, there were entire teams and programs dedicated to marketing involvement in IT. So, I guess that is the new normal. Well, the requests are not out of control. We do get asked to take on new projects, which we have a process for. A request is made and we scope it. I know that some of the business units would like to see it faster, but we can't jump in and make mistakes. As far as automation, at this point, not a lot. Other than virtualization and load balancing, which are managed by our vCenter and other virtualization teams, our storage is not virtualized. There are a lot of things to consider as we launch new initiatives, such as system utilization, data and proximity, security, and workload demands. Seasonality is really important for us and how the customer wants to access data, such as via mobile devices, desktop, etc. These take time and planning, otherwise we end up with a mess. To address this, we have been looking into how we could build a more self-serve infrastructure, a private cloud. We've been discussing a pilot. Right now, we have 3 applications in the public cloud. 2 are CRM related, 1 for sales and the other for the web-based marketing campaigns. The third is an IaaS implementation, filling the gap before we upgrade our equipment. So, while we do have a cloud strategy, it is still early in its design and deployment. We know we have to become more adaptive, but we have a very complex environment. What I am looking at is ways or a strategy for a more adaptive, simplified, and more responsive infrastructure, and, if possible, for a better price. Well, we have heard about it. It sounds very interesting. I personally think it has obvious advantages and there could be a lot of benefits to the model. But to get there seems monumental. I am not sure how it aligns to our current investment or future technology purchasing or our cloud strategy. I think it might be a little early. We have had pitches by just about every vendor. VMware, Cisco, and EMC, to name a few. It appears to me that they are all on their own proprietary paths. So while it could have huge advantage, it could also lock us into a single vendor. We have been there before and that is very costly. Right now, our strategy for the data center is stay on the path we have been on, and that is to be flexible and responsive to the business and provide good, solid, and reliable performance in a secure and trustworthy environment. Of course, all of this within our budget. but I would like to know more about software defined and how we should align it to our cloud strategy. Can you provide us information about what you offer and how all this fits together? Interesting. I am aware of OpenStack, but have not really investigated what it would do for me. I like the idea of the software-defined environment, and if you really think it would speed up our ability to deploy cloud capabilities, then I am definitely interested in hearing more. Let's work through the rest of your questions and then set up a meeting between you, myself, and Jack. Well, I might bring along a few others as well. This way we can start discussing how we can integrate it into our strategy for the next couple of years. Thank you for listening to my questions and responding to my concerns. There is a lot of good stuff in your description of SDE. I would like to understand it better. I'm a little confused how SDE, Cloud, and OpenStack work together. But I am all for open standards. As I said, we have been caught by proprietary solutions in the past, some of which were yours. We are very cautious about moving forward too quickly. As far as an additional meeting, sure, but I don't think I'm ready to bring Jack in yet. But what other questions do you have? Okay, your SDE solution sounds interesting, but at some point, you lost me. I really don't understand OpenStack. We have a very complex environment. What I'm looking for is a way or a strategy for a more adaptive, simplified, and responsive infrastructure, and if possible, improved IT economics. I'm beginning to think this is a waste of time. Let's move on. Well, that is an interesting question. I don't think I have had anyone ask me that before. What could you do to earn my trust? Let me answer what I like and don't like about some of our other vendors. Very often, salespeople only care about the product of the day. They really don't understand what it is going to do for me, and, of course, they are under pressure to close the deal. So they rush us through our decisions. Basically, they don't listen, except for key things that fit their products. Because of that, we are buying products. We may need that product, but it doesn't fit into a solution. What I like about one company in particular is how they listen to our challenges and come back with suggestions that make business sense for us. They understand our market, and often they will call with insights they have gained and are not looking for the sale. In turn, they get it because we trust them. So, for you to gain our trust, I would recommend the same kind of approach. You're a big company with lots of customers. There have to be things that you are doing around the world that could help us. Do that, and you will earn that trust and become a partner. I hope I answered that question. And by the way, asking it raised you up at least a little in my book. Thank you. They said that? I can't believe it. We work very hard to be responsive. I take insult with this. You had no business snooping around and encouraging this kind of conversation. You have provided me some really good information, but this crossed the line. I forbid you from sharing anything you heard with anyone else. If you do, you can count on your days at Fresh and Healthy being at end. Please leave. I am not interested in continuing this conversation. Well, sure. We are a VMware shop. I think you know this, though. We use a lot of your gear along with other vendors' x86 servers. A few years back, we instituted some strict policies around provisioning, resource utilization, and types of VMs that are in the production line. We stripped out some racks for development activity. This policy improved our ability to meet SLAs. So, that is working really well. What would I like to see improved? Density would be a big plus. and better memory utilization. We are looking at how to take advantage of data more efficiently. Right now, the servers talk to big disk arrays. We are considering a Hadoop to allow us to distribute processing of large data sets across our servers. This could be a big win for improving our analytics capabilities. Anything you can do to help here would be welcome. Yes, we do have a data warehouse. We implemented it about 5 years ago, and it has provided us some valuable insight. It has worked, but now marketing has been pushing us very hard to improve it and to have an even better way to gain customer intimacy. They want to start leveraging large data sets or big data to gain knowledge about buying habits, timing trends, and, in the catering business, food preferences. You heard what happened the other day. The key was that subterranean cruise lines could buy supplies smarter, cutting their costs. They suggested by 20%. That's the kind of thing marketing and the business want to discover. That information came from somewhere. To facilitate this, we are looking at moving to a Linux-based solution with Hadoop. Our concern is whether our x86 platforms can handle it. We have been talking with Oracle, and they are suggesting an Exadata with their new Spark processor. They said they can outperform any other vendor's platforms, including yours, when it comes to big data analysis. I must say it is interesting. What I want to improve is our ability to analyze data quickly and efficiently. I want to be able to look at unstructured data and provide our users with actionable insights. So if you have something, don't be shy about sharing it with us. Yes, we do have a data warehouse. We implemented it about 5 years ago, and it has provided us some valuable insight. It has worked, but now marketing has been pushing us very hard to improve it and to have an even better way to gain customer intimacy. They want to start leveraging large data sets or big data to gain knowledge about buying habits, timing trends, and, in the catering business, food preferences. You heard what happened the other day. The key was that subterranean cruise lines could buy supplies smarter, cutting their costs. They suggested by 20%. That's the kind of thing marketing and the business want to discover. That information came from somewhere. To facilitate this, we are looking at moving to a Linux-based solution with Hadoop. Our concern is if our x86 platforms can handle it. We have been talking with Oracle, and they are suggesting an Exadata with their new Spark processor. They said they can outperform any other vendor's platforms, including yours, when it comes to big data analysis. They specifically called out moving services off our mainframe and repurposing it on their integrated technology. What I want to improve is our ability to analyze data quickly and efficiently. I want to be able to look at unstructured data and provide our users with actionable insights. So if you have something, don't be shy about sharing it with us. You don't have to tell me that. Storage is our #1 expense. We have seen exponential growth in our data volumes with new requests and data coming from more devices than ever. We are being asked to deploy new analytic solutions so that they can slice it and dice it in dozens of different ways. But we are not sure what data they want, and to be honest, we're not sure where it is. We have a huge data store. We would like to organize it better. It is spread across our newest arrays as well as some older equipment. We have tried tiering and had some success, but it could be better. This is only going to get worse with what you're calling the new generation of data, especially as more devices come online. We have been talking with EMC about cataloging the data and then tiering it. We may even add a little flash, but the cost is so very high. Our focus right now is performance and the delivery of the right information. Marketing sees great opportunity in taking advantage of this customer data and expanding services to mobile devices. If we can deliver to them what they are asking for, they will pay for it, which would be a huge relief to my budget. What I want to improve is our ability to analyze data quickly and efficiently. I want to be able to look at unstructured data and provide our users with actionable insights. So, if you have something, don't be shy about sharing it with us. Well, this has been an interesting meeting. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me. Let me think about what we've discussed and I'll get back with you. Let me consider scheduling a follow-up meeting. I think I would invite a few others to join us, including Jack, my boss. Hi, you're back. I hope our meeting is more productive this time. I'm doing this because you helped me the other day, but don't think that is a trump card. Please use my time well and keep your questions and responses appropriate, okay? So what questions do you have for me this time?
Bill is really upset with us. He's really embarrassed and he's still fielding stockholders' calls. He says that neither we or he has any clue about what's really going on with our business and that losing a sale like this is unacceptable. He's asking why he was not brought in to meet with our CEO. This is really hurting our brand. No real feedback, no visibility into what's really happening, and too long to market. He's so upset he asked me to find out from you what's going on. He wants answers. If Phyllis can't turn things around within the catering division over the next 2 quarters, there will be changes. What's happening with advertising awareness anyway? I thought you had a plan for that.
Lenny, I am working hard on improving the customer experience, generating leads, and improving the alignment with sales channels. I feel automation is at the core of what we need. Things like web analytics and Salesforce automation, this would improve our lead management and help us uncover issues before they become disasters like what just happened. Honestly, Lenny, I am not getting the IT support I need. In my opinion, Jack and his people aren't helping me develop our social and mobility platform. This is really critical. I can't wait for them to come up the knowledge curve. I've asked Phyllis to look outside of our organization to get the kind of help we need. If our IT team can't do it, I'll work with somebody else. I have to get it fixed.
Well, finger pointing is not going to get this fixed. Now, I'm behind you, but ultimately, you have to get on top of this. It's your responsibility and your job.
Well, Marilyn was pretty direct about IT's inability to support her needs. Question is, can you help her and IT to do a better job? Think about what you might want to learn from them so that you could propose a solution. Using big data and analytics to better understand their business, creating effective digital marketing campaigns, improving brand image throughout the website, and improving use of social media are all priorities across Fresh and Healthy, just like every other company these days. The CMO owns these initiatives, but faces multiple challenges in executing against priorities, especially when it comes to technology. In this pillar, we're going to look at the best way to make a call on marketing. You need to get them talking about their business and their challenges. Then you can talk about why infrastructure matters by aligning your solutions with their needs. In this next session, you'll have the opportunity to hear directly from analysts that have firsthand experience when dealing with marketing's role in technology purchases. We also have a special guest that will give you insights into what it's like on the other side. So, if you're ready, let's get started.
Yeah. I have IBM here, so we need to talk about their offer later, if that's okay. Yeah, it might be a good way to go. There are some big issues happening today, so let's stay focused. Good to see you again. I was just completing a marketing acquisition meeting that ran a little late. Anyway, let me get my head into this meeting. It has been one meeting after another today. Good. I'm glad you followed up on the meeting. We need to be able to talk to companies that can help us do things differently with technology, not just rely on the way we've been doing it in the past. From the other day, you seem to be one of them. I need to improve coordination and prioritization of marketing initiatives across the multitude of digital channels. For instance, the other day, we lost a big account, partly due to the lack of technology. This is a collective problem we have to get under control. We need to understand our customers better, and given the business we're in, our customers as well. We need to consolidate all of the data and information from our operations, web traffic, customer feedback, and some of the new social solutions that we've deployed. Then we need to analyze it so we can develop a digital strategy and use that data to influence and make better decisions. This is very important for me. The other day, your knowledge about technology from other industries intrigued me as something we could leverage. Anyway, you asked for this meeting, so let's start with your questions. I have about 30 minutes before my next meeting. Well, that is an interesting question. I'm not totally sure I can list them all, but I can give you an overview. I would appreciate that we keep everything we speak about in confidence. So my role is predominantly focused on heading our marketing and for our catering division, which is a big job in itself, as catering is the biggest division in the company. But lately, I've taken on the role as marketing technologist and have become the cross-division liaison between marketing and the IT department. At first, I was excited about the role, but it's become its own challenge. Now Marilyn calls me all the time. We have very good people in both organizations, but sometimes getting the right information from or to the right people becomes an issue. Plus, not everything I'm told is actually the way it is, and that's a problem. That leads to missed commitments and missed opportunity. But we're working on it. As I said, they're all good people trying to do their best. I'm held responsible for the success of catering. It's a fast-moving and extremely competitive market. Until the last few years, there were only incremental needs from technology. But that's all changed because of mobile and social growth. Today, our buyer is not just the hotel, the airline, the ship, or the resort. More and more, we have to deal with the end customer. To do that, we need to exploit technology. I'm not sure that our IT department is up to it. We need to analyze buying habits so that we can build or buy solutions that meet the customer's demands. The current data warehouse is good for our operational purposes, but that is as far as it goes. Our growth strategy is to grow to $1 billion in the next couple of years. And to do that, we need to find new customers, hold and grow the ones we have. So technology is a key factor to our success. We have branding, advertising, and design pretty well under control. I would venture that you couldn't help with anything there. What I would like from you is to learn what you've seen others doing and help us do that better. That means getting our IT team aligned with our needs. Is that enough to get us going? What other questions do you have? That's going to depend on the division. I work for catering, so for us, customer intimacy means understanding the requirements of our customers' customers. We sell to the travel and hospitality industry. It used to be very easy as they provided us with what they wanted and we fulfilled the orders to their schedule. But that's been changing because of social media, especially on mobile devices. We have to get more in touch with the customer's needs. We've tried, with some social platforms such as Facebook and Twitter, but the customer using the technology is not ours, but our customers. They really don't know who we are. They recognize the name, but they don't directly correlate it to the venue that they're at. And we're working on that. Somehow, a competitor has figured it out. When it comes to our retail business, the restaurants are an entirely different model, as the end customer is constantly interacting. We're using the presence of the fresh and healthy branded restaurants to build brand loyalty for our catering business. To date, we're finding that social media platforms such as Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn provide interesting results for this segment. Of course, it also allows the customer to complain when they want to. And you can't please everyone. We track their behavior and respond appropriately. My peers in other business units are committed to Twitter and Facebook. If you want more information on it, then you may want to reach out to them. I could provide you with their names and where they're located. For these apps, everything is hosted in the cloud with little to no interaction with IT. One of the reasons I don't know more about what the other divisions are doing. Plus, we can't access the information for analysis that easily, so yeah, it's something we should work on. The distribution business is pretty much supplying other restaurants with our food products. It's a very straightforward business and has been doubling in size since it began 2 years ago. The good thing is that we can leverage our catering kitchens and warehouses together. This has huge savings for us. As far as lead generation, our most successful model is, of course, referrals. And if we could get faster customer feedback, we may be able to improve that as well. Our ordering system is adequate. We built it ourselves, and I've often wondered if that was wise. The data we get doesn't really generate leads. It's an uphill push, the old-fashioned way. Our sales team uses Salesforce.com. I don't know how successful that is. Maybe you have some ideas here that could help us? What's your experience with leveraging social media? And does IBM have ways to help us access and analyze the data better? You have my interest. I'm especially interested in leveraging the knowledge of IBM. But I need to know how that would actually happen, especially since there are so many pieces and I'm not really an expert on how they go together, that is, technologically. I like where you're going with this. I'm a bit confused. Some of this I knew or actually just shared with you. Some of it I don't really care about. And I was hoping you could be a resource that could help me with IT. For a moment there, I thought you were IT. However, some of your ideas have my interest. So let's continue with your questions. What are you trying to give me? A marketing lesson? Really? What did you do? Read a book or something? I need to know what it is that you can do and how we might be able to leverage information better. Can you do that? I need help with this. I need to know what you can do to help me, or stop wasting my time. Our customers are our biggest asset, so we have a data warehouse for tracking buying behavior. We use it often to strategize on the best ways to continue and grow relationships with them and improve their experience with Fresh and Healthy. But we need better ways to manage relationships through technology, such as mobile, and then track clients, quotes, leads, processed orders, and conversations. Then analyze that data. This would undoubtedly, in my mind, make it easier to develop and nurture and reap repeated rewards from the current base. I want technology to enable us to ensure that we don't miss out on hidden opportunities, while at the same time streamlining our productivity, reducing costs, and helping boost our sales. Our existing systems do not offer this capability. That's why the sales teams went to the cloud. Same for the retail divisions with Facebook and Twitter. For new opportunities, we want an enterprise relationship management solution that is easy to use, integrates email and social media, captures customer information and potential leads, and enables us to analyze information on the go. We've just got to get faster at everything. Decision-making needs to be more timely. I was hoping our IT department was engaged in getting this done. It's been going on for almost 7 months now. I'm getting frustrated as we're running out of time. This is one of the reasons that Marilyn asked me to take on this role. To be honest with you, I'm not sure our IT department is up to the task. They're too buried in technology to see the big picture, or okay, they have different priorities. Hence why we're meeting with you and others, as well as looking at cloud solutions. So how can IBM help us get the information we need when we need it? I wasn't really expecting you to fix our internal problems, but I do appreciate the way you responded. We need to fix our own issues. You just hit a hot button. You actually addressed my question extremely well, and I'm impressed. But I'd not really thought about the other side. It is easy to look at your own needs. If IT were more efficient, then we would have a better result. This is something I'm willing to explore. Let's continue. I agree, but that's a little dreamy, if you ask me. I appreciate the idea, but it definitely sounds like a marketing pitch. Heck, I could have written it myself. Some of it sounds quite valuable, but the rest is all over the place. But you may have information that would help me. Let's continue. Siloed organizational fiefdoms? What the heck? I didn't say we were like that. You're putting words into my mouth, and I don't like it, okay? This is becoming a go-nowhere meeting. It's a total waste of my time. This meeting is over. We have some applications running on the cloud, especially in sales, and of course, our retail stores with Facebook and Twitter. The rest you would have to ask the IT team about. My opinion is that we should do more with the cloud suppliers, and we're investigating a number of alternatives. This is the same reason I agreed to meet with you. We're investigating alternatives. Why did we or would we go outside instead of using our own IT? That's just too overworked to focus on our needs. They have their own agendas, budgets, etc. They definitely... Anyway, they're often too busy, so we have our own money. What else can I say? Our restaurant division is actively using Facebook and Twitter. Our sales team are using Chatter internally and LinkedIn and Pinterest. I belong to a number of marketing blogs, including catering, technology, and leadership. None of this is running internally, so we don't have much interaction with the IT team for it. They're focused on our operational agenda. I'm not sure how you can help us here. Social media is becoming more important all the time, though. Practically non-existent. I have my tablet as well as most of the marketing employees and executives. We can read our email, and that's about it. I would like to be able to access more of our customer data, but I have to come back to the PC to do it. This is something I'm going to help change. We need better information when we're in the field. We need to be able to adopt new technologies quickly, and that's just not happening. What I'm told is that we have a process and that it requires more security, specifically a PC. We can get what we want on a laptop, but that's just not my preference anymore. IT has not given us a reasonable solution, so my answer to your question, no. Our technology infrastructure is not delivering what we want. Sorry, I'm just a bit pushed today, and this is a big issue for me. And I believe it's one of the reasons we lost the deal the other day. Let me turn the question around. What does IBM do in the areas of mobility, and how would you assist our IT team in being more responsive to technology needs? Excellent. Why can't our IT team say this? I didn't consider all these things. I'm not unreasonable. I'm just not familiar with all that's required to support mobility. I agree. We need to get specific with our needs, and we have not clearly defined our strategy. And with your help, we probably could get this done faster. This is what we need. Let's see how the rest of the meeting goes first, but we could get with the key players in each division and lay out our needs. Once we have that, you could provide us with a recommendation. I would want to do this offline first without IT. Then bring them in for your recommendations. I don't mean to make you uncomfortable, but I want to know first what's possible and then see how it fits into our infrastructure. Anything else? It is a little confusing, although you did share some interesting information. Some of what you're talking about is more Harold's concern than mine, but maybe you can help. I'm not sure. Let's see how the rest of the meeting goes first, but we could get with each of the key players in each division and lay out our needs. Once we have that, you could provide us with a recommendation. I would want to do this offline first without IT, then bring them in for your recommendations. What else? That isn't that interesting to me. It just sounds like a lot of stuff that doesn't really get to the issue I have with mobility. It sounds like what I would get from IT. That is who you should be talking to. I don't think you're providing me with any value. What else do you need before we end this meeting? I think I've already said that, and I agree. It is a big challenge, especially when it comes to understanding the new ecosystem of data. The data we get is on our exiting customers. Trying to understand big data and what it means to our business is beyond us. Harold invited Oracle in the other day to make a pitch about it. He invited me to listen in. To be honest with you, I got lost within the first 10 minutes. They were talking about how they deal with unstructured data, and it got really technical. Harold was really getting into it, but I was lost, so I kind of tuned out. The Oracle folks didn't really address my needs or priorities. It was all technical stuff. I hope you can be more conscious of my priorities, especially since the budget for new tools will come from us. What I need is solutions that can help us react with speed and flexibility when market factors change. We need shorter deployment times that allow us to easily respond to customer opportunities. If I can get halfway there, I would be happy. We're just not getting anywhere. Not to be repetitive, but we need to obtain new levels of customer intimacy and differentiation with shared and secure access to all relevant information, no matter what it is or where it resides. The answer to that question is no, and I doubt she would accept a meeting with you. If you have questions, ask me. I told you this already, and don't go over my head. I'm actually offended by this question. Do you think she would override me? This is my job. Got it? Listen, I have a lot to do, so this meeting is over, but you can call me back. But only me. I will let Harold know about your attitude. Listen, I don't care to talk about things like this. They're good people, and our internal issues are not your business. I'm sure you understand. Do they meet our needs? Yes, for the most part, from a basic point of view. But they're not great at extending beyond operational needs. When it comes to adapting to new technologies such as social or big data analytics, they're not very good at all. To be fair, they have a lot to maintain. We want all the new things now, so our priorities are a little different. We're looking to the cloud and learning that the vendors like yourself can bring a lot of value. That is, if they can resist talking about the technology and focus on our needs. I would like our priorities to be aligned, but that's going to take a lot of work. I'm not sure how to do that yet. I hope that answered your question. Well, this has been an interesting meeting. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me. I'd like some of your ideas and responses. Maybe you could be an intermediary. Let me think about that and share it with my team. I wonder how Harold would feel about that. Let me think about what we've discussed and I'll get back to you very soon. If you need anything else from me, work through my assistant. Thanks for coming. Hi, you're back. I hope our meeting is more productive this time. I'm only doing this because there were some things you said last time that interested me. Please use my time well and just keep it simple and exact, okay? So, what questions do you have for me this time?
In the following simulation, you'll be meeting one last time with Phyllis, the Director of Marketing from the Catering Division, and Harold, Head of IT Infrastructure. Phyllis has been tasked by the CMO, Marilyn, to investigate how you can help IT and marketing work closer together to accomplish their common goals. But Marilyn would never tell you that. It's for you to discover. Now, Marilyn is using Phyllis as a go-between or liaison, as she understands technology better than any of her other team members. And Oscar, Phyllis's boss, has been willing to allow her to play this role, especially after the other day when the numbers were off. Marilyn has responsibility for all the divisions, including catering, restaurants, and distribution. Each has their own needs, and she's hoping that a better relationship between catering and IT will lead to improved services for the other teams as well, especially the restaurants division. For your information, catering is by far the biggest revenue engine of the company. All right, this meeting could go many different ways, as Phyllis believes that they should outsource more of their technology needs to the public cloud, and Harold would like to keep it in-house and secure. You've probably seen similar things happen at your accounts, as this is the new normal, as the IT budgets are tight and it takes time to implement new services, and marketing needs to get things done now or even yesterday. Marketing is driven by the market demand, and since Fresh and Healthy is a public company, it's judged by shareholder value. The good news is that most companies are steadily increasing the portion of marketing budget allocated to IT purchases. This is your turn to be the bridge. Help them with all the experience and expertise that IBM can provide. You need to find new ways to work through their issues to everyone's satisfaction.
Good. You're here. Please sit. Thanks for coming. I've told Harold of the recent meeting, and he was a little surprised that he wasn't invited. I told him that I took the meeting as I wanted to hear what you could do for us without being influenced by IT. I hope you don't mind. The other day you saw the outcome of not having our technology strategy coalesced. It wasn't pretty. After Bill, our CEO, announced the numbers of our stock took a 6% drop. We have to start doing things different. I was asked by Marilyn, our CMO, to lead the technology strategy for marketing. This is a great opportunity for me, and I plan to make the best of it. So let's discuss why you're here. When you asked for a meeting with both of us, I thought it would be a good idea, especially after the meeting we had the other day. In fact, a lot of what you shared made me think about revising the strategy, some of which I had not thought of before. Our immediate needs in my division is for new innovative applications, such as the mobile app we discussed the other day. I thought you drew an interesting parallel with the banking application, and that really interested me. I also see opportunity for tablets and social services for the restaurants. This is a hot area, and statistics are showing that companies that offer mobile apps for ordering increases sales by approximately 20%. That can add up fast in retail. My thinking is that we find services in the cloud. It makes it easier for us to test new solutions, and we don't have to worry about computers in the back office. Harold expressed concern that if we move applications to the cloud, which a lot of our competitors are now doing, we could compromise our security and potentially be surprised by the costs. I'm indifferent. The cloud providers assures me that they are secure and that the cost will be a lot less than what we pay now. But they're salespeople, only interested in getting the deal. Marilyn and I spoke about this, and we need to understand how you might be able to help Harold and his team be more responsive, as security and availability are critical to the customer support. On the other hand, we sometimes feel that there's a tendency to avoid immediate businesses' needs and push technologies for which they have a bias.
Oh, come on, Phyllis. We are all here to accomplish what the business needs. But I have to behave responsibly and keep our operation operational and secure while trying to respond to your needs.
The reality should be IT systems exist to serve business processes, not the other way around. Anyway, Harold, you have the floor.
We do everything we can to be responsive. Luby's new mobile app has nothing to do with us, and to be honest, no one asked us for anything like that. We first have to be aware of the need before we can respond.
Fair. We didn't know about it either. But we need to start being more of a team and finding out what other companies are doing. Marilyn and I agree that we need to set a new pace for competition, and that could include doing new technology in-house or in the cloud. This is why I accepted the idea of meeting with both of you together. So, you have my attention. What I would like to understand is what you can do to help us achieve our new strategy, and what that has to do with what you sell to our IT team. Good reply. I like what I hear. I'd not really thought about how important our own infrastructure is. I guess I'm guilty of not seeing the other side. Harold, if you agree, let's move this to the next step. Get our teams together and brainstorm the next year or more. Then let's lay out a strategy so that we can become more tightly aligned. I would like to think through each of our initiatives to include our analytics needs, mobile and social. Also, let's build the pros and cons for building it by your teams versus in the public cloud. Harold, we have the budget to make things happen quickly. You handle the integration and security in either case. Are you comfortable with this?
Yes, I am. I will let David know that we have this agreement. Thank you for your help. We like working with vendors that understand the value of partnering. I will get our teams together and let you know when we need your attendance. Phyllis, how is your calendar?
I'll check.
Well done. You managed this entire interaction very well. Congratulations. It appears that we have grown our position to a trusted advisor at Fresh and Healthy, and this will lead to new opportunities for infrastructure. Well done.
I'm a little confused, but I think it's worth moving forward. Let's move to the next step and get our teams together for a brainstorming meeting and build a strategy going forward. Harold, you coordinate with Betsy and see where it makes sense to have her be part of the meetings. I want to look at what we can build in-house and what should go in the cloud. If what Betsy has told us is correct, there may be some quick fixes that we can make to become more flexible. We have budget if need be.
Well, thank you for helping us with this. I will get my teams together. Phyllis, how is your calendar?
Yeah, we can do this, and I will get my team to attend as well. Let's plan.
Okay, at least we're moving forward. Now, they weren't fully convinced by your answer, but We're still in the game, and we have a chance to win it.
Your comment on our data center is a little demeaning. We have worked hard to be as responsive as we can, and I feel in lots of ways we've been innovative with our services to the business.
Well, Harold, I can't accept that you have been innovative when I never get what I want when I want it. I didn't really hear any value of what you just said. It definitely doesn't help us move forward. I'm out of here. What a waste of time talking to IT and useless vendors.
I agree, this has been a waste of time.
That didn't go well. After all we've been through with the customer, I would have thought you would have responded better. I think you may have chosen the wrong answer. Why not redo this last section and try one more?